get it. Agenda Central, you already know, was giddy, was the deal, was good. Another episode, we have a special guest. My main man, my one and only. Yo, I tell you already know, man. I appreciate you a lot. Welcome to the pod. I'm glad you're on. I'm excited because we get to, talk a little bit about Chelsea. I don't like really talking about Chelsea. Because on here, we can talk about Chelsea. So welcome. But anyway, Mr. Slimmy, welcome. Edouard, it's been a busy week. I know, getting to the end of the year, it's crazy because with work, with family, trying to, finish strong. So I know you guys are busy. Thank you for making time and, joining the Agenda Central. So let's get it. Having our two on, it's only right that we get into Chelsea issues right away. And as you guys are aware, where Chelsea is now on the table, Chelsea is on top of Arsenal. And getting into the season, I was making noise. I was like, hey, no way Chelsea's going to get over Arsenal. Every game I'm out here making noise. Now I have to say, I'm eating the humble pie because they're on top of us and 4 points. So it's not even, we need 2 games to even do something. So, that's impressive. And I got to give it to you guys. And I know for a lot of the Chelsea fans, they didn't even see it. So you being one of the biggest Chelsea fans that I ever know, how do you feel about that, where the team is going? What are you looking forward to?
Thank you guys for having me. First of all, let me shout out It's Your Opinion Chic. Thank you for bringing me. Big M.
My G.
Shout out to you, Charlie. Slimmy.
Let's
my
go.
G. Charlie.
Let's go.
The first thing I'll say is I'm excited about Maresca. Listen, when he first came in, I wasn't even sure who this guy is. I mean, I knew he had won with Leicester, but I didn't think he was Prem ready because Premiership is a different league, it's a different ball game compared to the Championship. And then especially on top of that, the bold decisions he had to make, freezing out Ben Chilwell, keeping Sterling out of the game after the team and saying that, listen, he's not the type of winger that I need or kind of like for the kind of system I want to play. Those are big decisions. And it has worked out. So it's actually very exciting to see what he's doing with the team. And also particularly because I didn't even know what he was going to do with the second team. Nobody had any idea what we were going to do with 40 players, 47 players actually at the time. He figured it out. He figured out how to, create a system where they compete with each other for the position to play in the Prem and those who were kind of good enough to play for the Conference League. Those were big decisions that even I didn't know. And Chelsea fans who say they knew he would do that will be lying because honestly, we had no idea what we were going to do with that big squad. And then it turns out he actually does know what he's doing. So it's exciting. The second piece for me is actually, it was going to be like a Pep light. For me, I always figured that he might, because for me, the idea that he would use the players in the way he did in the system he's using now, the inverted left back or right back in the setup, and then enable the wingers to push up a little more. I think he's done very well because Pochettino tried it. It worked towards the end of the season, but he wasn't quite getting it the way Maresca has actually made it work for us. So it's really exciting.
Right. So, but let me ask you, a lot of the conversation has been around, how the team is playing now.
Yeah.
But like you said, coming into the season, you guys having 47 players on the roster, nobody knew how it was going to turn out, right?
Yeah.
So are you excited about the business? Is the business side making sense now? Or do you think the coach is just that good and he's working with these players he has at his disposal?
I think he's lucky. I think Maresca fell into the right spot because the business was always there. The idea for the business was always there. But Boli always wanted the best young players to come to Chelsea. So he has started that even under Tuchel. And yet, Maresca's ability to use those talents to the place where we are now is making more sense. But Potter was also very good. But he couldn't quite figure out how to use the players in the same way Maresca is doing. But then that's the difference. So the business is making more sense now just because of that little tweak that Maresca is making.
Right. So you really think that coaching is the main factor here, right? That is the main reason you guys are where you are. Okay, so then
Absolutely.
I hate to say this, but if that's the case, then so you think you found one of them coaches, like the ones, like the other day I was saying that now, if you look at the big teams, or even to be in a conversation, to really be in the top 10, even the coaching has to be like a young, vibrant coach who's coming in, has a little track record, has a future that you're willing to work on. Like you talk about the Artetas, the Abrahams. I believe Chelsea, you finally got your young coach who's pretty good. Coming from the championship, coming in, that's really good. But man, I don't really want to talk a lot about Chelsea. Hey, tell me, what are you excited about? Or Sleepy, what are you excited about?
Isn't it too early?
Early from what sense? In terms of like where we are in the league?
No, in terms of like giving the coach all these props. Like I think it's too early. I mean, he has a very good squad, right? He hasn't had a lot of challenges so far.
Right.
Yes, Chelsea's playing good football. I think when it comes to attack, Chelsea's pretty good. But defense, there's a bit of, question mark in there. Yeah. So I feel, they're getting the results, but I still think, I mean, he's probably like 2 seasons, to, warrant this kind of,
you know what, Slim? I mean, I'm tempted to agree with you, but then also being in that second position, and this is me just always hating on Chelsea, but just being in that second position, and now Chelsea showing up like every game they are going to win it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is something commendable, because Chelsea can go into a game and then feel like, hey, we're not out of the game. We can score.
Right.
We will win this game, or maybe we'll come back. And I think being in that second position, especially in this season, because this season is really competitive.
And you have to also think about the side of it where coming into the season, the question is always, are you going to be a part of the conversation? And the conversation is a top 4. And if you look at, we're coming to the end of the year, and they are second, with actually 4 points of the next team. So it's all about being part of the conversation. Clearly, they are part of the conversation, and they are playing really good. And then if you look at the team structure, you ask yourself, if somebody is down, who will be the next person to step up? And really, it's the teams that have that setup that always don't have the chance of getting to the next level. And Chelsea has that clearly. I think maybe Liverpool, Arsenal, not so much, because you already know the issue. So they are a part of the conversation. I think they are at the stage where we can't really look at it like, let's see what they can do. They've really shown what they can do. They really are forced to reckon with, going forward, the second part of the season,
Yeah.
But
another angle you can give Maresca credit is also, starting the season or coming into the season. All we heard about was your 42 or 47 players. And the fact that you can get about 3 or 4 starting 11 from that squad. And so it was the topic of the town. Now, in things like that, how you can able to put that behind you is all about winning. And so for Maresca to be able to do that and shut people up, that's a big deal.
Yeah, winning makes everything better. Like winning, even.
Well,
do you remember when we had Unai? We were playing bad. There was a stretch of about 10 games where it wasn't good football, but guess what? We were winning. So it was always like, I don't really like it, but we won. You see, and that just shows you how competitive the league is. Sometimes just winning games is not enough. Like, people want to come to the stadium and see raw good football. And even I always say that for Arsenal. I'm like, listen, if not for anything, I'm just satisfied and I'm content with the fact that I can go watch a game, or now I can watch an Arsenal game, and I know that if you are down 1, we can come back and score. Back in the days, you know this, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I used to go into games and I know for a fact we were going to lose this game. But because, it's Arsenal, we just used to go sit there and watch it. Listen, I must say, me personally, I don't like the fact that Chelsea is doing well. So that's why I'm asking you, Atu, do you think you guys can sustain this? Looking at the structure of the team and maybe the business side of it, and then the competitions in which you are, and the players also.
I think that's where Slim's question becomes more relevant. Maresca has to be careful not to put him on that pedestal close to the Artetas and the Peps, because even though he's done well in the Prem, it's a different ball game, and he's yet to be battle tested. Even though he's doing well now, I'll be cautious to put him that far ahead. That's one. The second piece is that the boys are still a little more. They're inexperienced. They need more time. I think if you're conceding some of the goals that we are conceding, like the last game against Brentford, if you do that kind of, make those kind of mistakes against the big teams, you get punished. You're gonna get punished. So I'm happy where we are, but I think experimental. We are in the experimental stage. We are not quite at that phase where we can solidify and say this is the formula, this is the way we play. We haven't been battle tested yet because the Prem will definitely test you. Let's give him another season or two before we actually say that we are good to go on that level. Because listen, that thing will come.
Scary part about this whole conversation is Chelsea still have good talent coming in next season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Ato, I have quite a few questions for you, right? So I think I'll save the big one for last. But do you think that Chelsea, you will still have confidence in Chelsea showing up every week to win if, let's say, Cole Palmer is out?
Yeah. I think Cole Palmer is the linchpin. And for every team, they have those linchpins. Hazard used to be that type of guy. If Hazard wasn't playing, our game seems to be off. And for us now, Palmer is that guy. Even if he's not playing so well, the fact that he's present creates a threat. He attracts 2 or 3 players to his side, which frees up another player to play his game. So we will struggle. Cole Palmer is hurt for like 3-4 weeks. So the sense I get now is that Maresca is trying to fix that kind of issue with letting players be able to play in those positions. So João Felix will fit in. So that's why he's trying to create those dual teams, so that they play in the Conference League, and use those experiences to come and play in the Premier League. So his focus is more on the Premier League, but he's using the Conference League as a battleground, as like a testing ground to enable those, when those situations come, that he can easily fit in. And an example will be Fofana. Fofana got hurt, but they still had to fit in. So that's what he's trying to, and he doesn't quite fit in. So now he's trying to test out Tosin in that same position.
Okay.
So
this feeds into my second question, which I was saving for last. Are you title contenders?
We are not.
Straight up.
We are not. Again, for the same reasons I said. No, I didn't. No, Slim. But if the thing is, for me, we are not ready because there's still a lot of mistakes that we make in games. Jackson, for instance, in the last game slipped when he was close to making a run and was supposed to use his left to score. So there are certain plays we are still making that we are making big mistakes. Even at the back, Sanchez is still vulnerable because sometimes he doesn't trust. Aside from maybe Colwell, he doesn't trust the others. He's not able to play with them. So we are not ready. And the Prem defense wins you titles. If you're not able to defend, you will go to like a difficult game on January winter time and lose because you're not ready. Those are the things that we need to go through. Those phases need to happen for the boys to mature before I can definitely say we are title contenders.
Okay. So with that being said, who would you say are the real title contenders now?
I think Liverpool is definitely up there. They have shown consistency over the last couple of years to be up there. Slot has done well. And I think even without buying a new player, they brought in this guy from Juventus, but he hasn't really played. What's his name? Chiesa.
Yeah.
Chiesa hasn't really played.
They just bought him because people were just forcing them to buy
because
something.
They had to.
You know what? Let's just buy
something.
Let's
check the DEI
bar. I'm saying that.
I give Slot a lot of credit. Of credit.
The reason I'm saying that is I watched them play Arsenal preseason. And Merlin will tell you this. When I watched that game, I came back and told them, I was like, no, listen, the way Liverpool play, if this is how they're going to play in the league, then they will be serious. And so that's how I know that
and
he already got
guess
his
what
guys.
I said? Guess what I said? I was like, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Until we play them.
Right.
Until we play
coach, them. All that.
He's a new coach. Until we play them, and I was like, damn, the conditioning was crazy.
The conditioning was crazy. Listen, in preseason, I saw it with Salah. There was a run. I'm like, yo, This is preseason. This is the energy we bring in preseason.
Yo,
That's why I knew that it was going to be over. So personally, I'm not surprised. For us now, I really thought we'd be in a better place than we are now. But it's like every season there's something we got to deal with. I always tell people that now the Arsenal issue is not so much of a footballing issue. Like it's always something outside that, and hopefully we're able to fix that. There's always something.
No, but
Last season.
No, but Sheikh, for me, I don't know what else you all need to be able to compete. You shouldn't be here. Fair.
Yeah.
But you've been through this. You've been through this.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
Some are saying it's the striker. Some are saying the striker, they need a striker. I don't know how far that.
And I get why they say that. If you really think about it, when we became good, the forward position has really been a problem, right? So really, that's why I am with Arteta. Now we are shouting forward. What we really need now is a forward and then a Saka backup and probably just one midfielder, to rotate around. We should be a good team. We have a whole lot of defenders.
If you get a Saka backup, you'd want the left.
No, me personally, that's why that's the two we need. That's the two we need. And
you said striker, Saka backup.
Saka, yeah, and then maybe an extra midfielder, No,
we have to fill that left too. Yeah.
Martinelli. So that's what I mean. Somebody versatile.
Yeah, that's like another 200 on top of Arteta spending 680.
Okay.
God
damn.
But honestly, I don't like
our business, and the reason we are where we are is different. Our business is not anybody else's type business.
So if I'm deducing from what you guys are saying, and Atu being here from Chelsea, all you are saying is we got to spend $1 billion before we can compete.
That's not what I said. What I mean is, for some of you, you just needed the money. They gave you all the money to go spend.
Is the $1 billion.
Some of us, we had.
No, but United spent more than $1 billion and still haven't won anything.
Yeah. I mean,
they're not even
it depends on where you're counting it from, right?
Yeah.
It depends on where you're counting it from.
The FA Cup. Players, do you see raw potential? Do you see that, can make raw impact in the team that you are most excited to go out every weekend to go watch on TV?
For me, Caicedo is the biggest for me because he used to do it at Brighton. When he came to Chelsea, there was kind of some doubt about whether he could still do it again.
Right.
This season, I see him back on that pedestal again.
Can that be the coaching? I think the coaching.
Again, the coaching. Yeah. Again, the coaching and the freedom he's been given, not to just always run up and down, but to positionally be in the right place at the right time. To break up play, to be able to give those, necessary passes to the wings. And he's almost playing like a Partey now.
Can I say one thing about Caicedo? Caicedo and then throw you off. I think Slim also mentioned this when he was playing in Brighton. And just recently, I see Benny also commenting on that. He has to clean up the sloppiness when it comes to tackle. He gets away with a lot.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think that's the only thing. Outside on that,
he does.
Yeah.
Caicedo is just bossing everywhere now, and I fucking love it.
If we're getting away with it, and it's not once, it's not twice, if we're getting away with it, then hey,
but here's the case you're playing. Here's the case you're playing in the league where the refs are just bipolar.
Yes.
So they can show up anytime and then they show up anytime. One big game that you need, and then throw you out.
I really thought it was a red. That red that they argued for him that it wasn't a red. I was like, whoa, dang. It's like
it takes time. He's going to build reputation that way. He just has to clean.
It will happen. It will happen.
No, I get the sense that very soon the refs will clamp down on him because they see that he's getting away with so much. And that's one of the reasons why he needs to be very careful. And part of the reason why I think we are not also title contended is for this particular reason. The refs are allowing us to get away with a lot. Very soon, they will not. And that's part of what you need. There's 3 formulas that you need to be able to win the league. A good defense, you need the refs on your side, and you need some very lucky times where you don't get your players injured at the right times. So those three have to come together for you to be able to win the league. Right. So far, 2 of them are working for us, and I think that's where we are. But very soon, we'll find out if we can keep our players all fit at the same time to be able to play throughout the season. The other player I'm very excited about.
You have a big squad, Ray. You have a big squad. And so that big squad, I really don't expect you guys to struggle. Just like you mentioned, João Felix.
Yeah.
These guys, the Neto guy is someone that can also cause a whole lot of havoc as well. So I don't know, but
I'm excited about Neto. Yeah. But to that point, I think Neto can even improve. There's something about how he's not using this. When he was at Wolves, he used to be the star player. Take on players, use the wings, and cut in and score. He's not doing a lot of that now. I think perhaps because of just formation.
And because of that, he's not getting hurt, right?
Yes,
because if you're doing a lot, because he used to be.
Exactly.
So Maresca is like, you ain't got to do all of that.
Yes.
I just need you to stay fit. That's it.
Absolutely. Those are 2
crazy.
players that I'm excited about. But we definitely need a very good, we need another goalie to be able to compete. We need somebody to replace Fofana, who's always injured. And just to that point again about injuries, if we can't keep our defenders, if Cowell, for instance, gets injured, we're in big trouble. So that defensive line, I think, still needs a little more work to be able to get us to compete and be title contenders.
I have a personal question for you. And this is something, that is bothering me.
Why do I feel like I know the question? I know the question that's coming up.
Do you feel that Chelsea FC, as a football club, did enough with the Enzo situation, with the whole racist chant from Argentina winning the game?
God.
Do you think Chelsea did enough to handle that situation? And do you think that because you guys are winning is the reason why we're not talking a lot about it? Because keep in mind, we found out what they did to the Tottenham player, right? They suspended him, for what I believe was less damaging than what Enzo did, with a meaning behind it. So what do you think happened? And do you think the situation was handled? Do you think he deserves to be playing and hanging around the boys from a team that is mostly dominated by black athletes? Tell me what you think about that.
I think it's unfortunate that he didn't get punished sufficiently. As a black man, I cannot overlook what that means.
Right.
I think Chelsea did something bad there. They should have set an example with him.
Right.
By making him do more than just, community time.
Right.
With a charity offer or whatever. It sets a bad precedent. He's allowed to do that and get away with it. I mean, what are we talking about here? And especially for a Premier League that, people go on their knees at the beginning of every game to stand against racism.
Right.
We should use him as a poster boy for this is not right. We won't take it. And yet it's Chelsea. We have a history, unfortunately, of having this type of thing happen. And consistently, you find that is something that Chelsea is always branded as the racist club. So again, I think Chelsea should have done better. They should have set him as an example. But I think you're right. The football has covered for that. We are winning. He's kind of gone. That conversation has gone under the radar because Maresca has put us on a different conversation.
So Ato, why do you think Chelsea didn't take this any much further? Right? Because there were this news everywhere. They had a history. Yeah. Could it be that a dude was your priciest asset? Well, now that is Caicedo, right? But if you invested 100 million in a dude, then you have to balance between what makes sense and morals.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. The reason we didn't do that, for me, I think it would be that we couldn't punish him because he's our captain, vice captain.
Yeah.
And it would make the boys, perhaps be question what they are there for. So, and particularly because his own teammates were trying to criticize him. They didn't want to create kind of a bad feeling, a bad chemistry between him and Fofana and also the other black team boys. So that's what that was about. Okay. But I still think Chelsea should have done better. But personally, I think Chelsea should have done more than just give him community time.
I was going to ask Ato, in his estimation, what would have been a better punishment?
That's a good question. I think a couple of game suspension would have been helpful.
Right, yeah.
Again, we need to set the precedent. This is not acceptable. You can't do that. You are not allowed to, use racist chants against the French national team and then come and play with French boys in your club and say that's okay. I was just videoing. Everybody was chanting it, but you were the one videoing it. So you were cheerleading that whole encounter. So I think a few game suspension would have been helpful. I think also that more than just an apology, there's some more community work that he could have done beyond just, visiting a few racism. Yeah, make him pay so that people know that this is unacceptable.
I admire the fact that you always stand up for the black boys, right? Anytime, there are issues as far as racism, inequality or stuff like that. And that's why I'm going to ask you about this next topic, right? So the Confederation of African Football came out with this year, the 2024 starting 11, right? There's been a lot of conversations about it. Some feel like, some didn't have to be on the team, some didn't deserve to be on the team. What is your view on it? I just want you to take the first 11 and just chop it up and tell me what you think about it.
Listen, for me, Ademola Lookman he deserves to be the winner for the men's football. That choice is fine with me. But when you look at the starting 11, if you start from the goalkeeper and you say, that for me,
Big Nana.
Onana shouldn't be there. Onana shouldn't be there because he started one game. And even in that game, he conceded 3 goals. Okay? If you look at it, the kind of season he's had.
That's standard. That's normal, bro.
Because that's what he's been doing at United.
That's standard, bro.
Listen, Onana shouldn't be there. For me, it should be the essay goalie.
Big Nana.
For me, it should be the essay goalie. I think his name is
But hold on, let me tell you something that before you continue. Let me tell you something that killed me this season. There was an interview where Big Nana said that this season we should export more things. I was like, wait. So I was like, hold up. Big Nana, if you have to expect anything more, it's going to be comedy down there. So
that means it's 6 then 4. But yeah, this season he turned it around. Recently.
When Mendy saw that interview, he said, boss, stop with all that.
Yeah. Go, Yata says, Slim go talk.
No, but the first time he put out about Manchester with a big
yes.
I was like, whoa, Big Nana. That's what we do.
But if one thing that I'll give him, right? I don't know if it's a thing with the Francophone boys, but bro, they can't get vim.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. I was coming to that.
Yeah.
Even after last season, I think it was during the preseason time, right? When they interviewed him and he was like, how can the best goalkeeper in the world all of a sudden forget how to keep?
Yeah.
And the way he said it, I'm like.
And he was so confident because he was just going to say, hey, last season I was at the finals. I was in the Champions League finals. Like, what are we talking about?
Yo, and that's literally why I fuck with Onana on so many levels. Like, yo, I'm an African. I boss my position.
Yeah.
If you don't give me that respect, I not say I be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you should.
But you
can hold your own.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you might say I'm not the best, but trust me, this position is mine.
But trust me, the conversation, I go day inside.
Honestly, I think more than anything, we need to be sure that the CAF is hearing this from us. Nana is not the one who should be on that list. Listen, for me, is the essay goalie was
Warren Williams.
Yeah, Warren Williams. If you look at his record, even on the club level, I think he plays for Sundowns.
Right.
There was a league record. I think after 30 games, he's only conceded 11 goals. Yeah. So he should be on the start. And he took his team to the bronze medal.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be there. Exactly. He saved 2 penalties in the semis to take them to that level. So he should be in that conversation. Why is Onana there just because he plays for Manchester United?
But wait, didn't CAF give him some award? He got an award from CAF, right?
Who?
The rowing guy.
Yeah, he got an award from CAF.
He did get an award.
I think he was the goalkeeper of the year, right?
Goalkeeper of the year.
No? Yeah, so how is the goalkeeper of the year now in the CAF?
In the starting 11.
Yeah.
Because Onana is coming from Manchester United, bro. That's all that it is. It's so basic, bro.
Yeah. Like you see, and that's my thing with it. That's another topic, for another day. But like you said, CAF is just basic. And that's just how they move. That's just how they operate. So it's like everything else, people question everything that they do because it's like, what are you guys doing?
Honestly, no, I don't think that comment is fair, bro. Because even Europe had the same issue between Rodri and...
You see, every time this thing comes up, right, then it's like we have to find a bond.
The equivalent for.
I'm not saying there are no problems anywhere. You see, like if you look at Africa, if you are the governing body that takes care of African football, right? Yeah. If you look at the quality of the African football or what is coming out from the continent, our local leagues. You see, I believe that's even the main thing. Like our local leagues, that's what. So I'm saying, like in general, right? And you see, sometimes when you are bad at these things, it affects some of these decisions also. And that's just how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So every federation will have that type of challenges. Yeah. African, I feel like ours is unique, and it affects a lot of things.
Look, if you look at the list, there's another person that I have a problem with. Koulibaly shouldn't be on that list. If you have,
I thought you were that.
Wait, Koulibaly. The Koulibaly way.
It's like hold on, wait a minute, I'm not that.
Oh, wait, Koulibaly that.
Ali shouldn't be on that list. If you look at it,
where Koulibaly that?
Koulibaly.
Damn.
Where right now? They are for Saudi. Where they chop money.
Yeah, we still am go Saudi. We don't care about that guy anymore. But listen, for me, I think I would replace Koulibaly with this Nigerian skipper that trust Ekon. He was solid.
Yeah. He had a good tournament.
It was exemplary. The kind of football he played and the kind of football he's continued to exhibit now is exemplary. So that's where CAF can do better with some of these selections.
But are you comfortable with Bissouma? What did you think Bissouma's selection was?
I think we can make an argument for Bissouma or Adingra, but I'm okay with that. I think Adingra could have been there.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Did Saudi, send some money in? Because
I think so.
How is Frank in there also? Like, how is he?
No, but he had a good tournament. He had a good tournament, though. He had a good tournament.
So is it just based off the tournament?
I think it was the year under review, right? Yeah.
I think CAF can do a better job, though, Slim. Because if you're looking at just the tournament...
It's either they are really just selecting them or we don't have the good players, so we have to do what we have.
Yeah, so what is it? Is it just the tournament that they're using to judge?
I think...
Or they're using the club level as well? So which is it?
No, that's crazy.
If you say the players, we see that. So we choose what we get. That we all.
Yeah. Slim, for me, they need to decide. They need to decide and let us know.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
If your continent, CAF 11 is pretty much continent 11, bro. If continent 11, this killers win it and represent the continent.
I think the club representation also counts. It's playing a bit of. It's playing some role in here, right? Because it makes no sense how some players are in this list. If not for the affiliation with
This changes. There's been a decline in viewership, right? There's been a decline in patronage. So, and it's a big issue now. If you look all over, everybody is discussing that now. They don't watch the NBA like they used to, right? So, Slim. And then also, I just want us to take a look at some of the reasons why, right? I'm looking at it from Right. I'm looking at it from so right. So I'm looking at it from two perspectives. You talk about the streaming now and the traditional way of watching TV, right? And then also we can talk about style of play. What type of offenses and defenses are we running as compared to back in the days? Really, what is the reason why people are not going to watch the sports like they would normally would? Right. So Slim, I know you have. What do you think are some of the reasons? I know you have some feedback on that.
Honestly, I stopped watching NBA like 4 years ago. I only watched playoffs. Like I don't know. I just lost interest in the sport. As to why, I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of the diehard NBA fans again. I used to be, but these days now. So I'm part of the
So
people
what was your reason? What was your reason for not watching?
I don't know. I just lost interest in the sport. I really don't know at what point what really happened. Because I was like going. I mean, at some point in life, I was a diehard Nuggets fan. Denver Nuggets. Like I mean, I knew everybody on the roster. I mean, stats. I could tell you stats, right? But I really don't know. I guess maybe I just lost interest. I really couldn't tell. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think?
I think it's a whole lot of factors, right? Well, before we actually get into that, let's review how much money like these guys signed over 11 years with this TV partners.
Yeah.
Right.
They signed 76 billion for 11 years.
7 billion.
76 billion, right? So this is cash that they've already collected up front, right? And out of this 76 billion, there are three media guys involved. So you're going to be seeing Disney and you're going to be seeing NBC, Universal. So Disney will cover ESPN, and then Fox because that's under Disney. Then NBC is paying around 2.5. I think Disney is paying 2.5. NBC is paying 2.6. Sorry. And then you have the other partner or the third partner being Amazon, responsible for streaming. Right. So if you look at this big money going in, coming through, one could make the argument that it's either the owners are tone deaf because not much is going through their head based on what we're all saying. Because honestly, the league dropped in terms of rating. I think it was around 28% down from ESPN. Ooh. And overall viewership is around like 46 or 48% down.
Wow.
This is overall. Now, my perspective would be that, and I can go several ways with it, but just like you mentioned, there's a style of play. There's over-reliance on the 3-ball game now, right? Let's make it more entertainment because guess what? These media guys are paying 76 billion. So we have to make it that way. But again, you are diluting the product. So that's one aspect of it. There's also the load management side of things, right? Which I believe you guys are aware because now nobody gives a fuck about the regular season anymore because the stars are not showing up. They're not even coming into play. The tickets cost a shitload of money, right? And that's crazy from that perspective. You can also look at it from accessibility, just like you mentioned, right? Now, there's a lot of restrictions because of all these three different people involved. You're going to be receiving a lot of blackouts, even for local games that, I mean, at first you could have watched it through just like your local Fox or your local CBS or whatever that is. So I think there's a whole lot of factors that people are, which credit to them, it kind of makes sense. I also feel like a lot of the time, if you have an original product and then you are trying to commercialize it, you're definitely going to dilute what the quality is. And this is also NBA going out there and saying, hey, we're expanding NBA Global. Right? Now, if you're expanding NBA Global, which means that it's not bad, but you're bringing overseas talent in there. But the real question is, are they able to connect with your fan base or the bulk of your fan base in America? How are these stardoms? Just like back when we had the Kobe's or like the stardoms that are from the USA, how are they even dealing with that? Because NBA has been struggling with parity. The smaller markets.
For me, Melly and guys, the other question I have is, if I'm comparing football to the NBA, the viewership for football is going up, but that's based on the idea that people are coming in and seeing the evolution of the game. If I can make that same comparison to NBA, is the NBA evolving in terms of how they play the game to make it more entertaining, to make it more. People are anticipating to want to watch games every night.
Right.
Or is something happening to the game that is making it like boring? Or is making it like predictable?
I can help you with that. So your boy now assistant basketball coach for a JV high school team. So sometimes I'm around these conversations, but you are right about.
Please break it down. What is a JV varsity coach?
So varsity is the starters, like the main guys. So that's the main team. So you can classify that as the A team, right? So those are your main guys. Mostly it's about 10 to 12 at most 14, depending on how many players you can get on the varsity team. And your JV is your junior varsity. That's your B team. So the idea is, you're developing or you're hoping that people step up in the JV and make it up to the varsity. The varsity boys.
This is high school basketball.
This is high school basketball, right?
High school. Okay.
This is high school basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the varsity is what the colleges would look at. So look at and see if they've got some good players in the varsity that they can, give scholarship or offers to come and play for them in college. So I'm assistant coach for a junior varsity, right? So to break down, listen, I've been in the coaching, even doing it on a small scale, and I don't like it. Every kid, even if he's a big man, I mean like a 7-footer, every kid wants to shoot the 3-ball. It's I don't know what's going on, but the reason why basketball has always been interesting and why people love the sports is you would think that people are just passing ball and moving around. There's a lot of play call in the game. Before you get your 2 points, there's a lot that you have to do in a specific second, say sometimes 30 seconds, 15. So in 30 seconds, call out a play, give me something nice, give me some skills, score a 2, right? People love that. People want to see that. People want to see, what did you do to get me the 2-ball? The 3-ball has taken all that away, because if you have a guy that can shoot a 3, why should I come in the middle and
why do you need offense?
Why do I need to do all that?
Yeah.
I can just, be, and even it's not even a 3-ball. It's not like people start way behind a 3 and can shoot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Back then, the 3-ball was your last resort. And when you knock it down, people loved it because it's like, okay, all that broke down, but I'm able to shoot a 3 and we're back at it. So now that's all they think about. So the game has changed. Like, we're not seeing a lot of play calls. We're not seeing a lot of passing movement like we normally will. Now it's just 1-2 pass, 3. 1-2 pass, run to the corner, 3. So it's taking that away from the game. The other major thing that you mentioned, Slim, that I believe, to me, these are the 2 major factors. The other thing also is the streaming and the traditional way of watching. So Merlin just broke down how the NBA has given right to 3 individuals, right? Think about, even in this world we live now, where we all have multiple apps streaming probably different things, right? So if you are not within those 3, it means that you're not really checking for the NBA. And then now also there's a lot of illegal streaming.
Yeah.
If let's say I have 4 or 5 apps, streaming apps, paying about $50 a month. If I have to watch NBA games every other day from different streaming places, I'm not buying all 3. I'd rather just go and stream it illegally and watch the games. And maybe that might be another factor, because the ratings don't include the illegal streams. But I know for a fact that over the years, the illegal streaming has increased because the NBA has given opportunity for that. As compared to back then when it was just with the traditional media. Every time, if I have to go and watch specific games, I have to tune into either, TNT and then watch it, or, go to cable. So I know every time, it's like, and like we always talk about product, the way you present a product. If I have to strive a little bit to get a product, I'll put in the work. But if the product is just there, I'm not doing nothing to go.
Yeah.
But I have a question. I have a question, right? So this conversation is just centered on the American viewer. right, or the American viewers, or were we, expanding?
I think it's global view.
It's global.
Yeah, so if it's global, I mean, from where I sit, right, I think the global interest has also reduced.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. The global, you know what?
I don't
not
think
so much.
because now we're getting more like European superstars.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I mean,
the fact is, the global market.
No, I mean the viewership, right? I don't mean the players. I mean, I think the attention. Could it be that there are other leagues coming up? Is that why there's not too much focus on, NBA?
I think with the global thing, right? The global, I would say, viewership, or it's not that much compared to the bulk of where the viewership is coming from, which is the United States. And again, I believe that we do have about 4 or 5 stars, big stars that are from Europe. Mm-hmm. I think that if these guys cannot connect with the local fan base. That is one thing, though. But I mean, I think there are other reasons though too.
No, there's something Slim said. No, see, let me get this part, because there's something Slim said that really touched me, and he said something about he only watches the playoffs, and it seems that the players are not caring enough about the regular season. So they're sitting it out to rest. So why should anybody else care? Like, people don't watch the regular season because it doesn't seem like the organization themselves and the players care.
This is Sheik's point about if you dilute their products. But guess what? We're facing this same issue in soccer too, like football, like we're all soccer too, because the games are becoming exactly.
Yeah.
So then the quality is going down.
Different. I think the soccer is different. Well, okay.
But the thing is, we're getting a lot of games due to the fact that now these media people control the money that comes in, which the players are getting a lot richer, right? So you got to give me more product.
Yeah. But
so we are prioritizing quantity over quantity.
Listen, basketball. Let me give an example of like 2006 when Kobe dropped the 80, right? I looked for that game for God knows how long, so I finally got it on a tape and watched it. That is how hungry I was to find it and watch it.
Accessibility.
Accessibility. I don't think now. And then also, just imagine. Imagine you have a regular Nike, right? Like a regular Nike, you just walk around all the time. Yeah. And think about that Nike, that exclusive Nike. You went through a lot to get it at a very expensive price. Yeah. When you come out, you're not wearing it the same. You are appreciated more. So now that appreciation is not there because it's like it's just
there was this thread on Twitter that I jumped on. There was this guy from the Athletic, Michael Cox. So there was this clip where George Weah, I think in the 1991 or 92, was playing against Bologna. And then he picked out the ball, beat about 5 players. Right. And he was making an argument that from that time, back when we used to watch soccer, right? Mm-hmm. We appreciated more of the skill and who was actually doing the skill, rather than who was at the receiving end. Mm-hmm. And I think it just resonates so much with what you're saying, because at the time, me personally at the time, let's think about when we're growing up. We all waited for Edouard to come up with sports highlights and then tell me about a certain Andy Flo. Yes. I don't have the time to hate on who he was performing that skill on. Right. I just want to see that skill.
Yes. Right. Now the hate is so and so
I appreciate his skill.
I think so. Maybe the NBA hasn't found that balance yet. Yes. Where you have to keep the product still, people wanting it, attractive. And then also making it less, accessible. Having that little control where you want to streaming is gone. Maybe they need to start investing resources there, finding that balance, because it will keep declining. And people,
what's the point? What's the point of the Emirates tournament or Emirates Cup or whatever they call it?
You see, these are globally. These are all things they are trying to come up with to make it attractive. But it's not working.
Yes. Yeah. The thing also is, once you're introducing that, so I always commended Adam Silver for, just going out there to borrow some of the things like what they are doing in soccer, because this is what he wants.
It's not the type of sport you do tournament in a tournament.
Exactly. But the thing is, for shareholders and then the owners,
They
this
need
is a
money.
great idea because it's an avenue for us to,
For money.
package something.
For
but
money.
that goes back to diluting the product.
Right.
And so this can tie into where now we have a lot of American owners in the EPL. And then now Guardiola have started talking about with the NBA season or, in the NBA season, they play 82 games and then the players get a break for like 3 months.
Yeah.
But then this is my agenda. I feel like a lot of the time, if the core of the sports, core of the sports that you have to be purist. There have to be some purists that will just guard it. The more you step out to borrow from, you are diluted. This could be an issue that soccer will also face at some point. Right. Well, anyways, it's another agenda.
These days it's just business, right? It's all business. It's all money.
I think money is influencing the
but
sports
the balance will fuck up the product.
Right balance. Yeah.
Yes, they haven't figured that right balance, and they are making one side, supersede the other, and it's affecting the product. And it's all right. Like if you ask me now, I don't even remember the last time I watched an NBA game. But guess what?
Wow.
Playoff time. You're going to see me there. So
unless LeBron is playing.
Yes. And then also now, and you see, listen, that's another important.
That's the superstar point.
The superstar issue. See, the current, the new range of superstars that are coming, they are Gen Z superstars.
Because they're from you.
They're not exciting.
A lot of them are for you. You can't connect
There's
with
nothing to really write it.
Gen Z, it's not exciting for you.
Yes. Some of this, because if LeBron leaves, which too soon, and then the Steph Currys go, and then it has to be now as well Anthony Davis and all these people. Please, come on, let's be serious.
So imagine if LeBron leaves,
and then they are talking about Anthony Edwards. They're talking about Anthony Edwards and Shai and all these people.
I like that dude.
Yeah, you like that dude, but the professionalism. You see, when we talk about superstar, like a lot of these people, they are stars. You see, but superstar, listen,
it's a different level.
And NBA needs to give LeBron free money. The only reason why I'm telling you, listen, this past couple of months, it got worse because LeBron has not been winning and hasn't been that active.
And he hasn't been playing,
Yes, and so nobody's watching. I'm telling you, if he comes back and start playing, you'll see. So now, people don't trust. Trust me, people don't trust the Anthony Edwards and the new superstars, so-called superstars.
Bro, those guys are not. They're not superstars. Those guys are just
Kevin Durant, David Booker, JC Tatum were the ones supposed to carry the torch. But you've seen them. We had one superstar beaten out at the Olympics because he didn't get play time and showed all this bitch-ass attitude. So these are the things we are dealing with.
I think I now know my... Yeah. I think after this conversation, I know why I stopped watching NBA now. Yeah. It's just because the stats are normal.
There's a lot of... And now, listen, the game, right? You see, the big man basketball, and what I mean by that is the aggressiveness, playing hard, tough, running after every ball, it's not there anymore. Now, our big men are 3-point shooters. But then we don't have the shots that goes under the rim to dominate and just make sure that, hey, if I'm down here, it's a different ball game altogether. Better runs on play. Like, it's not there anymore. They're not going to get there.
It's a deeper issue.
We need some runner tests in the league, bro. We need some action. We need some physical.
We need all these guys in the league.
Some drama.
Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Inkum, a.k.a. Nyaminipa. It's been great. Agenda Central, you already know. Anytime we get together, it's always a good vibe. You already know how I feel about Chelsea, but I got to give it to you. Y'all playing good, for the love of the game. And sometimes we come here, we banter, we troll. That's fine. But for the love of the game, it's always good to recognize the effort people are putting in, to elevate the game that we love so much. So for that, much respect on that, and thank you for coming through. Hey, Agenda Central. Thank you all. We out. Let's get it.